Hey guys, what's going on? This is Seth from REtipster.com. And if you're anything like me, you can always use another place to not only sell your real estate, but also to find real estate deals. And I think a lot of us are pretty well aware of websites like Facebook, Craigslist, Zillow. Those are kind of like the big three that everybody uses at some point. And those are all great. I mean, those legitimately are like the big boys that get like the most traffic and the most attention. So, there's a good reason why those are known as the big three. But something you might not know is that there's actually dozens and dozens of other ad posting websites that are free that function a lot like Facebook, Craigslist, and Zillow. And granted, these do not get nearly the same amount of attention or traffic, but there's still stuff going on there. And it might just be worth checking out. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to skyrocket the growth of your business, but it's free, who can't use another free option? So just in case you've never heard of these, I just want to make sure that you're aware of them. I've used most of these a little bit. Some of them I haven't used at all, but something they all have in common, at least at the time of this recording, is that you can post ads on there for free, which obviously also means you can find other people's listings there as well. So they may be worth your time just to check out and see if there's anything there. So we've got Craigslist, it's a big one. Zillow, it's another huge one, and Facebook Marketplace, it's another biggie. But going beyond that, one of the ones I want to let you know about is this website called Connected Investors. Perhaps you've heard of them, perhaps not, but it's basically like this big online community of real estate investors where you can connect with other people and post listings of the properties you're trying to sell. You might just find a handful of opportunities here depending on the market and how active people are in the areas where you're looking. Assuming you have an account with these guys, you just have to log in, go over here to the marketplace, and then find property if you're looking to actually find real estate deals. Or if you want to list your property, then obviously go and click on list property. When you create these listings, again, they're free to do. This is generally what they're going to look like. It's kind of all the normal expected stuff where you'll find a property description, basic details about the property, not like a ton of information, but all the stuff that you would need just to assess whether or not you're actually interested in finding out more, including the price. Looks like this particular one is an MLS listing, but I know there's a lot of listings on here that are sort of like off-market deals, like deals that you're not going to find on your local MLS system. Like this one, for example, which is for sale by owner. And this is not an MLS listing. You're not going to find this anywhere unless you just happen to stumble across the listings that this particular owner put together. So if you've never heard of Connected Investors, if you don't have an account, it might be worth signing up just to poke around and see if you could find anything of interest here. Another one worth knowing about is forsalebyowner.com. So this site has kind of gone back and forth from what I recall. They used to offer the ability to post listings for free, and then you couldn't, and then you could again. So at the time of this recording, you can post listings on here, and it doesn't currently cost anything. Can't guarantee it's always going to be like that, but that's the situation as of now. And all I'd have to do is go over here to sell your home, and you can get started putting together a listing right here just by clicking get started. And then you would just have to create an account and move on to the next steps. But just to give you an idea of what these listings look like, we'll go and check out a couple of them here. Let's take a look at this one right here, just as an example. So we've got plenty of room for photos here, a nice map feature, nice big area for the property description. Lots of different listing facts, exterior features, when it was built, neighborhood information. So really lots of stuff here. I don't actually know if any of these features are held back from people who are not paying. I'm sure they are. The important thing is you can get exposure through this platform, which is not insignificant, and you can do it for free. So if you've never checked this out, check it out. And then also, obviously, you can find deals on here too. I haven't spent a lot of time looking on this particular site for deals, but since it is a listing platform, there's going to be lots of different listings here that you can look through, and you never know. You might find something of interest here. Another one to know about is this website called LetGo. And LetGo is a free listing website that seems to prioritize ease of use and like the visual elements of each listing. In my interactions with the website, it seems to be intended more for like a mobile audience, like people who use it on their phone rather than on their desktop computers. But obviously, if you do have a desktop computer, you can certainly get around and see what you need to see. I haven't personally done any deals through this website. I have listed properties here before, and I have heard from other investors who have gotten pretty fast results with it. I don't know if that was just a luck thing or if it's because LetGo is like a legitimately awesome website. So I'm not entirely sure, but depending on which market you're working in, it's probably worth your while to at least try posting your properties here to see if they can get any traction. and obviously spend some time looking around to see if you can find some deals. You would just have to go over here to this section, housing, and then they give you just a few filtering criteria by which you can sort through these listings. So it could say, 20,000 to 100,000 because we're going after cheap deals here, and then sort by relevance or by date or by price. Let's start with low to high in this case, and then posted within the last 24 hours, last 7 days, 30 days, or all the listings. So if you haven't checked out LetGo before, there's definitely a lot of listings here. So there could be something waiting for you. Might be worth spending just a few minutes to get more familiar with this one. Another one on the list here is called Fizbo. I have actually used this website in the past to create listings, not only the free ones, but also to pay for this thing called the MLS Boost, which basically means a local realtor in your market lists your property under their name so that you can get access to the MLS, which essentially puts your property on websites like Realtor.com, websites that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get listed on simply as a for sale by owner, because you sort of have to have MLS access to get on those. So I have used it for that. In my case, it did not necessarily end up in, selling my property faster because I ended up selling it directly to an end buyer and they just found my listing on Craigslist anyway. But if you do want MLS access and if you think that would be helpful in your situation, Fizbo is an option for that. They also have a free listing option that works pretty well. And if you're using this website to try to find deals, you can, as it says here, find your next home by searching our database of off-market and for sale by owner properties. So that right there kind of gets my attention just because these are properties that I'm not normally going to see in the regular course of just looking on my local MLS website. If I come here, I'm going to see things that probably won't show up on those mainstream avenues where everybody else is looking. So just to give an idea for what these listings look like, if you decide to use them, let's go ahead and just click on this one as an example. It looks like we've got plenty of spots for images, a nice description, lots of ads beneath that, and then a few more details at the bottom. So not like the sleekest looking, most comprehensive listings I've seen out there. I think there's definitely better options that look prettier and all that, but again, you can get free exposure on this website and you can get out the basic information, and you never know who's looking on here. There could be somebody of interest who's coming and going. So in case you've never heard of this one, just wanted to make sure you knew about it. Another one here on the list is a website called Oodle. So this is one of those websites that kind of like Craigslist doesn't look like anybody has updated the design in about 20 years. But that being said, there is still some stuff going on here. If I check out what Similar Web says, it looks like this website, time of this recording, is getting about 1.5 million monthly visitors to it. Again, that's for like every single market, every single page on the site. So all in all, that's not that much probably when you boil it down to every individual market, but still, it's 1.5 million people every month. So somebody's coming here and checking this stuff out. And like all the other websites that I'm telling you about here, you can post listings for free. And you can also browse listings and find other opportunities that might be in your market that perhaps aren't showing up elsewhere. We can go down here to real estate, click on that. Just get some ideas for the kinds of properties that are out there. You can also sort and filter your options a little bit based on bedrooms and bathrooms and prices, and then also condition, square footage, seller type, photos only. So it's kind of similar to what Craigslist makes available. It gives you some pretty solid ways to narrow down specifically which types of properties you are and are not looking for. And if you want to post a property for sale, you can do it up here. And one claim to fame with this particular website is that when you post listings here, they supposedly get syndicated over to Redfin.com, which is a major real estate listing website that gets a heck of a lot more traffic than just Oodle.com does. So just keep that in mind that if you are posting stuff here, you can potentially catch that other huge audience. That's part of why this website I think is notable and just worth knowing about. Because if you do want to tap into that much larger audience over on Redfin, you can do that through this website. And in a way, I almost kind of find that hard to believe because this website does not look that slick or fancy, and it does seem like the kind of place where spammers can go nuts. I don't know how the back end works. I don't know how well it's monitored, so maybe I'm totally wrong, but just like based on the visual vibe I'm getting from this website, Doesn't seem like the kind of place where you can just plug stuff in here and it's going to automatically show up on Redfin, but that's what they say. And if we go over here to Redfin to investigate that claim, if we go down here to question number 7, and sure enough, just based on the answer I'm seeing to this question, it does seem to imply that indeed some of the information that Redfin displays comes to them from Oodle.com. So there you have it. I didn't make it up, folks. You can see it right there. So moving on to the next one. It's a website here called AssetColumn. And this is another site that, just based on what I've seen of it, it seems kind of underrated. Like, it's pretty well designed and like the user experience seems pretty great. And you can post listings for free here. And I actually discovered this a few years ago. And I remember even then I was like, wow, this is a pretty great website. Why have I not heard more about this before? So anyway, this is what AssetColumn looks like, again, at the time of this recording. And if you want to find deals, you can go over here to the navigation bar and click on Buy. And it'll take you over to a page that looks like this. Kind of has a similar vibe to like Zillow or Redfin or Trulia, that kind of thing, where you can start searching for properties here and filtering them over here. Doesn't look like they give you quite as many filtering options, but that's fine. Because remember, a lot of these deals are deals that are not on the MLS. They're posted directly by the owners of the property or people associated with the investment company, that kind of thing. This is just an example of what these property listings look like. Pretty sharp. This is one of the better looking layouts I've seen like on the internet at large. So I think whoever's in charge of designing this thing did a pretty solid job. And then if you want to go list one of your properties, you can go over here to sell in the navigation bar and click on post your property. And it's a pretty straightforward, easy way to get through it. Just go ahead and log in or sign up right here. And it's generally not a hard process to figure out. So go ahead and check out AssetColumn. I don't know if this website syndicates with any other ones out there, but just in terms of the website itself, I think it's definitely one worth knowing about. So now moving on to the next one. So we're starting to fall into the range of like almost not even worth mentioning sites, simply because, as you can see from this particular one, FindMyRoof.com, it kind of has a similar look and feel to like Oodle, where whoever's in charge of website design is just asleep at the wheel. Like, this thing does not look that sharp. But again, it's free to post stuff here if you want. You can place an ad right there. And you can go ahead and start looking for deals all over the place. And you can start by looking in the state and just see what you can find that way, just to give an idea for what these listings look like. So all the basic placeholder information is there. You can put a handful of pictures. You can enlarge the pictures by clicking on them, and you can see all the basic details and description. It's just not that beautiful of a website to look at. But practically speaking, if you're just looking for another medium by which you can find deals out there and post your properties for sale, check out FindMyRoof. It's right here. It's free, and it's pretty easy to use. So there's actually a lot more websites I could tell you about, but the ones we covered right here so far are probably the most notable ones where I think you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck if you decide to use them at all. If you're looking for some other less notable, but still you can post listings for free and you can find deals there, go ahead and check out the blog post I put together that I do try to keep updated as often as possible. Usually about once a year, I'll go back and remove websites that don't exist anymore and add new ones that I've learned about. You can check it out at REtipster.com. I'll have a link to that blog post beneath this video, and you can go see what it has to offer. As you can see, there's tons of websites out there with really weird names. Some of them seem super obscure, but I've checked them all out, and they are all real, so you never know. But feel free to check that out if you want to look into this further. I hope you found these ideas helpful. If you've never heard of any of these, hopefully you learned something new here. And hopefully you've got a few new websites you can add to your bookmarks list. So thanks again for watching. Talk to you next time.